Hi guys, Charlie Black 20 back again. I know it's been a while, but I recently watched Snow White, the new live action movie. And I'll be very honest, I was thoroughly disappointed. Now, I went into this with, I believe, an open mind, thinking, okay, a lot of the bad reviews are because there's a lot of haters out there for live action, and for people that had problems with the actresses who played Snow White and the Queen for quote unquote political stuff. And I'm like, listen, I'm going into this movie ignoring politics. I want to see what the movie's like. Now, I will say that the two things I liked, one, I believe they did nail how Snow White would be dressed. Like they did very good work with costumes for both the Queen and for Snow White herself. And the other thing was that two of the songs, um, Whistle While You Work and Hi Ho, I thought were done extremely well. I think they were good songs, and they did a good job in the movie with that. Now, I will say that the rest of the movie thoroughly disappointed me, as I said before. I was not impressed with the Queen song or with how you had Dopey talking or the quote unquote bandits, how the Queen acted, how Snow White was this kind person as a princess. Like, I felt like the back plot line of who the Queen was extremely, extremely weak. And how she acted was just way over the top and way too um, open about how bad she was and uncaring she was. It's like, yeah, we get it. We know she's an evil queen and we know Snow White's the good person, but this movie really put an emphasis on them. And especially how beauty is from within instead of without. Yeah, we know that as people today in a modern world. But I do think that they tried to hammer things in, and instead of hammering it in, they basically put our hand to the anvil and just smacked our hands. I don't know if that makes any sense, but it just felt like they were hitting us over the hands with things. Now, again, I liked the two songs I mentioned, Hi Ho and Whistle While You Work. I thought those did okay. But the rest of the movie, from this outlaw gang, the true kiss, how the evil queen is overthrown, and how Snow White is just this pure of heart person who thinks that she can even reason with the queen. It's like, no, that's not a real Disney film. A real Disney film has just a clear line of somebody is bad by their demeanor rather than by them saying they're bad, which is basically what the evil queen did. And then how the poison apple worked. I mean, and how the queen is destroyed. It's like, listen, I did not go back and rewatch the old one because I always found it a little for myself as a kid, I don't know. I just found it hmm, maybe a little too sing-songy for me at the time. Although looking back on the movie today, how they got rid of the evil queen, that was a much better ending than the one we got. Like, it was much darker ending for the queen in the original animated form than it was in this new live action. I'm afraid that of all the live actions I watched, the only one that went down further for me was Pinocchio. And that's simply because the old Pinocchio scared me as a child, and I liked that it scared me as a kid. The new one did not. And this Snow White did not give me any sense of wonder or loving the characters. Uh, as I said before, the costumes were good for the most part, but they were just overemphasized on everyone else except Snow White and the Queen. Those were the only two characters that I thought the costumes fit. And again, they're the only two songs that I thought were any good. Were the Dwarves song and Whistle While You Work. It's like I think Disney just had an epic flop for a change completely. Which I hate saying that because I do love the old Disney movies, but this new one was, and the live actions are mostly hit and miss with having criticisms of them, but still being okay as movies. But this one, I'm sorry. I went into it with an open mind and I felt extremely let down. So I do recommend going to see it if you're interested in seeing a different movie than what is supposed to be Snow White. But this movie did not feel like Snow White other than having a character named Snow White. So I give it a E as a rating from S tier to F tier. I give it an E just because there were a couple of small things that were good and a couple of songs that were good for a Disney movie. So that's my review of Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs live action. So I hope I gave you guys something to think about. So please like, comment, and share this video. Take care, my wolf pack.